This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
It's Friday, September 25th, and time for the Barbados Today Afternoon Update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Youth unemployment in Barbados may be as high as 25%, and Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayasugu says it's a major concern to the government. She told the first awards ceremony of the Summit of the Caribbean Youth Entrepreneurship Program, although the Barbadian figure is below many others in the Caribbean, it is unacceptable, and the government has put initiatives in place to address the situation.
In our region, we know that the unemployment rate is much higher than 6%. I don't have the figures, but I know in Barbados, as I said, it is 11%. And globally, when you look at youth unemployment, all you have to do is multiply the unemployment figure by 2.5 or 3, and you have what the youth unemployment figure is. So that here in Barbados, with an unemployment rate of 11, it is calculated, it is estimated that we have about 25% youth unemployment. And that is unacceptable. And so we have to spare no effort to ensure that our young people are engaged. And while we train them for job opportunities, we are also ensuring that persons with the capacity for innovation and for developing small businesses, that we provide them with the assistance that they need.
Meantime, the United States Ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Dr. Larry Palmer, says the Caribbean has an acute problem with youth unemployment and is struggling to generate sufficient jobs. And he warned those attending the official launch of the Caribbean Entrepreneurship Summit yesterday that the lack of opportunities for young people could lead to social problems.
Global youth unemployment reached a record level of 81 million young people, and it looks like it's going to continue to rise. In Caribbean countries, youth unemployment is acute and ranges from anywhere from 10 to 40%. Caribbean nations, like others, face the challenge of being unable to generate sufficient jobs to absorb the expanding youth population and unemployed labor force. Limited opportunities and a lack of job skills are major contributing factors to high unemployment, which in turn can lead to disillusionment and associated social ills.
However, he says the U.S. government is committed to supporting youth development across the region. There will be no backing down by government on its plan to implement its homegrown strategies to achieve sustainable economic growth in Barbados. So says Senator Jeptor Ince, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs. Addressing the opening of the 9th Annual Economic Seminar at Baobab Tower this morning, Ince acknowledged that only through implementation of tough measures will the island experience the desired economic outcomes. Environmental health officers from the Ministry of Health will meet tomorrow with all island associations, clubs and societies at the Cavell campus of the University of the West Indies to discuss food safety. The meeting follows an incident on Tuesday when food prepared by the Antigua and Barbuda Student Association for a cultural food day was ordered to be thrown away. The order was given by a health inspector after it was found that the food was not being kept at the required temperature. The session tomorrow, which was scheduled before Tuesday's incident, will involve stimulating conditions under which food is usually sold on campus by student groups to facilitate their understanding of what is required. Long-standing businessman and activist Trevor Clarke passed away yesterday at the age of 78. Clarke, the owner of Winfred Trophies and Calypso Sportswear on Hines Hill, St. Michael, died at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital around 6:30, a little over a month after he was admitted. Clarke, one of Barbados's leading advocates for the economic enfranchisement of blacks and Pan-Africanists, is also credited with being one of the founding members and early shareholders of the Nation newspaper. In her tribute, Executive Director of the Barbados Manufacturers Association, Bobby McKay, says Clarke must be remembered for his commitment and passion for manufacturing and making a difference within the sector. In sports, FIFA head Sepp Blatter is under investigation by Swiss prosecutors. The Attorney General's office said he's been investigated on suspicion of criminal mismanagement as well as misappropriation. The probe apparently surrounds a TV rights deal Blatter signed with former Caribbean football chief Jack Warner in 2005. Football's top boss is also suspected of making a disloyal payment in 2011 to UEFA's president, Michel Platini.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To regional developments, Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says he's seen a reduction in Liat flights to his country, and he's questioning whether or not the island's decision not to invest in the crash-strapped airline is responsible for the decrease. Prime Minister Mitchell pointed to cuts in the morning flight from Barbados to Grenada, adding that the airline has not been able to provide a satisfactory service to facilitate inter-regional travel.
The latest example is a case in point, where with a limited amount of travel to the destination in the Caribbean, they have now cut off the flight that leave here in the morning to go to Barbados. As of last week, Minister Bowen dressed to take a flight early in the morning. They canceled a flight a few days before, and he did not even inform the minister that the flight was cancelled. The flight was permanently cancelled. But while they're cancelling this flight, we see expansion of Liat services to other islands.
Prime Minister Mitchell says while his government has no issues in investing in the island hopper, the company must first be more transparent and efficiently managed.
I have no problem with the government's investing directly in Liat. But that investment must not be without condition. Liat would definitely have to show that it can manage itself better than it has done historically. So it has to be much more transparent in its operation. And it has to show us that it's thinking of the people of all islands in the region, not just one or two islands, in its service to the entire region. And therefore, I have not seen this. I've spoken out about it, and I have not seen any changes. And therefore, I have to believe with further cut in flights that almost is non-existent. It must make you believe and ask the question, as you asked, Roll, are we being punished?
And finally, in the United States, John Boehner is expected to tender in his resignation as United States House Speaker and give up his seat at the end of October. News of his resignation comes just 24 hours after Boehner hosted Pope Francis at the U.S. Congress. The 65-year-old, who has been under pressure from the conservative wing of his party, was scheduled to make the announcement today. However, reports are that after a long delay, he failed to appear and left the Capitol building through a back door without comment. And that's news and sports, but be sure to join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on iZoomi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.